Hello, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Taking It Personally. I am your host, Michelle Yampolsky-Gomez. It's season 2, and I'm joined by a highly desirable guest that I have been simply begging to join me on my podcast since season 1. Please welcome my husband, Matthew Gomez.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining me, Matt. It's just such a pleasure.
Yeah, it's great to be on here.
You were playing hard to get about coming onto the podcast.
Yeah. I needed to see how things really took off for you before I made a commitment and put my brand on it. So I'm pretty happy with the way things have progressed.
Wow. Thank you so much for investing in my potential.
For sure. Yeah.
We have been married 5 years.
Yep.
Can you believe that?
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you too, Matt.
Yeah.
You've been married to me for 5 years.
Yeah.
We've got a lot
Like
done.
3 of those years, serious pandemic. It really molds into, I don't know, those years kind of really mold into multiple years, like into one.
Well,
almost.
blurred.
The line's blurred.
The line's blurred. We were married December 31st, 2019, which means that we were on the heels of the global pandemic.
Right.
And that kicked in March 2020.
2.5 months of like normalcy.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we didn't get to take our honeymoon still kind of hurts.
It irks me for sure.
It sucks because we were supposed to honeymoon in South Africa.
Right.
We actually had purchased a safari tour and had multiple holds.
It was through a donation.
A charity fundraiser.
Oh, yeah. We never recouped that, but I feel good about
at least
whatever charity. I don't know what charity it was.
I don't even remember. We should figure that out just so we can.
Hopefully
is it too late to claim it on
hopefully
taxes?
Like end malaria or something like that.
I don't know if it was like that.
Okay.
I think it was like a bridging the gap kind of thing. Either way, yeah, so those like first 2.5, 3-ish years really blurred into one. And now life is kind of like resuming normalcy a little bit.
Yeah. We moved back to New York after doing like the snowbird thing for a few years there in Miami.
And then you knocked me up.
We had our daughter.
Our daughter, who just did an amazing job over Christmas. We had shuttled her across the state of New Jersey multiple times over. Yeah. And she did great.
Through remote parts of the state, like, middle of nowhere, So for context, my dad lives in a community that is almost like geographical center of the New Jersey Pine Barrens. So
it truly is.
It's not close to Philadelphia. It's not close to Atlantic City. It's not close to New York. It's not close to, I don't know, Tom's River, like any other. It's kind of like equidistant from all of those places. It
really
remote.
It's remote.
It's the sticks.
So we survived Christmas, which was great, but our daughter made out like a bandit.
Totally.
So many gifts.
The Fisher Price Little People Barbie themed dream camper.
Yeah. I mean, how can you beat that?
I would, if I were her age, I'd be freaking out over it. And she kind of did. But
she did freak out over it in a good way.
In a good way.
We're proud of her.
Yeah.
Mom slayed.
Shout out to Mom for that gift.
Mom slayed that gift.
That came in a box. And when I saw the size of that box, I was like, this is going to be awesome. And then she also got a Mr. Potato Head.
Yes.
35 very small pieces.
Yet somehow marketed to 2 and over.
2 and over. Yeah. He's a horrifying amalgamation of a potato. Multiple sets of eyes on him right now, as you do.
As you do. I think the benefit, for context, we live and raise our daughter in New York City at the moment. And at the moment, we love it. It works for us. Maybe that'll change down the line if we have another, if we don't have another, and she's getting bigger and we're running out of space, whatever. But right now, I'm pretty content.
Pretty good. It's pretty easy. I mean, I think also like we have a lot of friends that are on to their second, and we just see the chaos that ensues with that. And I don't want to say we've mastered having one, but like
we're in a good groove.
We're in a good groove. Yeah, like we know the routine at this point.
But what I was gonna say is the benefit.
It's 2-on-1.
It's 2-on-1, and then like later we're gonna verse her. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say that one of the benefits of us living where we live and the kind of having to visit family for the holidays and bring stuff back is people have really tapered down the gifts. So the amount of stuff that we have to construct right now is minimal. Yeah,
we basically kind of go into the holidays saying like no toys, no stuff, and that reduces the actual amount of stuff that we get.
And toys.
Yeah, and toys by a lot. They still do it.
They still do it, and we know that they're going
to. She's the first grandchild, but they, you kind of have to buffer it with no gifts. I'm going to throw it out. I'm going to burn it. And then you still get, a 50% reduction.
Right. And then we really don't have to put that much together.
Right.
We get the stuff that's kind of like easy to maneuver around. So we're okay with that.
And clothes are great.
Clothes are great.
The paradigm shift when you're a kid on Christmas of getting clothes and being like super disappointed to being an adult and then having a kid and then people get them clothes that you don't have to buy then it's a full 180.
Which is so interesting because I do the shopping for the clothes.
Yeah. No, I understand. But like it's a lot. She's growing like a weed.
Yeah.
Constantly having to like understand what she fits in, what she doesn't fit in. I still change her. You'll need the options.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that you had an opinion on all of those things, but it's good to know that you do.
It's helpful.
It is helpful. You're such a hands-on dad. That's a recap of our holiday season. One of our best.
Great.
Just really fun, seamless.
Included dim sum.
We got dim sum on Christmas Eve, which was phenomenal. We had delicious desserts. It was a true Christmaka this year. God bless Adam Brody.
Yep.
Do you know what that meant?
I didn't watch that show.
Okay. You didn't watch.
It was Laguna Beach or the OC? It
was the OC.
The OC.
The OC.
I didn't watch that.
And you didn't watch Laguna Beach either.
I didn't watch
Maybe that should be
I didn't listen to emo music in high school. I was a happy child for the most part. Well-adjusted, which has continued through.
You're kidding.
Well-adjusted is, up for debate, but I didn't watch either of those. I didn't listen to them. I don't know. Sometimes
First of all, you're the one who missed out on emo music.
I meet people our age, I'm friends with, and like what they did in high school, and like I don't know, my experience was just didn't have a lot of those mainstream elements in it. Not to say like I'm super cool or anything. I just didn't do those. I don't know where I was half the time.
Just use my name. Call me out. Yeah.
No, I have friends other than you that also had those shared experiences, but
I know, but you're one of you had such an insular upbringing in that sense. I just feel like when it came to pop culture,
I was missing out.
You missed out on a bit.
A lot, yeah.
I don't know if it was like the Catholic school part.
It could have been.
Or just the way you were raised.
No, definitely not the Catholics, because I know that there were kids in my school that watched those and listened to those things too.
Right. I don't know what it was. I wouldn't call it well-adjusted.
Yeah, probably not.
And you honestly missed out. But to backtrack, Christmaka was dubbed on the OC by Seth Cohen, who was a character on it, played by Adam Brody, who resurfaced this year.
Yes, in the show that you watched.
Yes, and now I'm blanking on the name of the show, but I'll come back to it.
Nobody Wants This.
Good job. Good job.
I know about shows, but I don't watch shows.
Right.
So I'm kind of just reliving that high school experience for myself. Like, I'm aware of these things are happening, but it's not for me.
Well, he dubbed Christmaka because he was half Jewish, half Christian, Catholic. Yeah. And so he dubbed it. And then he, as an actor, really had a resurgence this year. And coincidentally, it's the year that Hanukkah started on Christmas night. How special is that?
It's pretty special. It usually overlaps, right? Like maybe not the first night.
Very briefly, yeah. if so. But like last year, I felt like it was super early.
Was it really early? Yeah.
And it kind of made me
less shortly after Thanksgiving.
It almost made me less of a Grinch. And I will say that having a toddler, having a daughter, having a child who now is kind of understanding the holiday concept a little bit more, grasping it, is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Than it was for me when we were just a married couple.
I was more in the holiday spirit.
I was way more in the holiday spirit.
Probably since before we were married, right? Because even the year we were engaged, like we were so busy that time of year just finalizing things that there wasn't a lot of time to like engage in that stuff. Although we had some friends in town for the wedding, and like getting to do New York with them was like really fun and memorable. But like doing all of the stuff, like watching a tree lighting, seeing Santa Claus, lighting the menorah.
There's a little bit of Santa living in all of us. I heard that in a movie we watched with her, and now I believe it.
Yeah.
I
mean, she's terrified of him still, but
she seems to be warming up.
She's adjusting to knowing that her existence needs to share on the same plane as Santa Claus, multiple Santa Claus.
Right.
Like she's,
yeah.
It's like her first hard lesson that she's learning. It's like, all right, this guy's here to stay.
And he's coming back every year.
He's coming to town.
Every year.
Yeah.
And We're not going to make you sit on his lap because we're forward thinking, but he's there and you're going to see him. And we decorated. I am someone who firmly believes in multicolored string lights. How did you feel about my choice of decoration this year? Them. Great. Yeah, Joe, are you a white Christmas light person or a multicolored string light person for the holidays? Yeah. Way better.
Yeah.
Like significantly, but it can't be the LED lights. I did read.
I read on Reddit, there was a thread about a guy in like Sweden or something that like was an expat and he put up multicolored lights and he was mocked by his neighbors. I think white is more in vogue in parts of Europe.
Yeah, I would see that with all the Christmas markets and stuff, but guess what? We ain't in Europe. So today is a Sunday, and that means the Eagles are on.
Yep.
The Eagles are playing. Matt, tell us a little bit about the Eagles game today.
They're playing the Cowboys in Philadelphia. The Eagles don't have their starting quarterback today, and they are going to the playoffs, but they need to win this game to ensure that
Is it confirmed that they're going to the playoffs? Or is that you're like
they confirmed a spot, like they clinched a spot weeks ago, but their path in terms of they'll have home games, who they'll play, is still very much up in the air, and today would go a long way in locking that down and allowing them to not have to play their starters at risk of injury next week against the Giants.
Got it. And you're an Eagles fan living in New York City.
I am. And I have been since 2014.
That's right. And what's that experience been like for you?
It's not too bad. Philadelphia is a pretty close city relative to, other cities, especially if you're a transplant here.
Are you ever scared to wear your Eagles apparel out in New York?
Because people don't take it as seriously. And I'm never hanging out in neighborhoods with hardcore Giants fans or Yankees or Mets fans when I'm watching the Phillies. It's not that type of...
the Jets fans just don't even bother you?
I think it's because New York it's one of many things. Not that Philadelphia also doesn't have a rich culture of art and food and things like that. But
we don't need any Philly apologists right now.
The sports fandom permeates every aspect of life in Philadelphia, and it does not do that in New York.
That's so true, because anywhere you go in Philly, you would never see anyone in any other apparel.
Everybody's getting ready right now, regardless of what you're doing. The only half of your brain power is dedicated right now to
the Eagles game.
What am I doing? How am I getting home? How am I watching?
Right. Yeah, and you know what? I kind of appreciate that about Philadelphia in a sense. It feels like a real bonding moment, and it makes me think of all those Bradley Cooper movies.
Yeah. And we opened a cheesesteak spot right across the street from where we're filming this, right? Around the corner.
Yeah, maybe we should go get a cheesesteak.
Maybe. I can pick them up on the way
He's
home.
really into the cheese. He's just popping up everywhere and chopping cheesesteaks.
Yeah. Well, he partnered with the owner of that really, the really good one, which we are never able to get. And I've just resigned to the fact we'll never get it.
Yeah, we are always struggling to try Angela's in Philly. It is a name that lives in infamy with cheesesteak fans around the country. And somehow we can never time our Philly visits well enough. Never. And it's just been really difficult. But I think that in 2024, I accomplished a lot of things on my resolution and manifesting type list where I actually feel good going into 2025. Okay, these things are in motion. I don't have to get these things started so much anymore. I have more time to focus onto other things. And I can shift my focus to an Angelo's cheesesteak.
Yeah, we should make it a goal.
We should make it a goal. We should make it a goal where we're just committed to...
We have a Saturday, we're not doing anything. Just pack her up.
Her being our child.
Offspring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in.
Get her in the car and head down there.
So you're an Eagles fan living in another city, but it doesn't really bother you. Do you ever take it personally when you are walking down? Because I've seen this happen, obviously, in the many years we've been together. Do you ever take it personally when you're walking down the street and someone's wearing some sort of Philadelphia apparel and you let out your little go birds, and they don't return it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially in New York, because you got to figure this person is probably from Philadelphia, right? I'd be hard pressed to say you grew up in this area and became an Eagles fan. You don't understand that kind of element of the culture, the fandom. I have been victim of some people just having earbuds in and I didn't see it. So those, they get a pass.
Yeah.
Although they probably should have said it to me first. Right. It's kind of like when you see those videos of the people that are in Europe wearing Yankees hats and they have no idea that it's associated with a baseball team. Right. And then Americans are traveling there, they're tourists, and they're go Yankees. And they're like, oh, it's a hat, you know? And then like, they're like, ha ha ha, you know? And they really don't know anything. They're just wearing it as a style.
I've never
That's
seen
a thing. That's a real thing. Like, you know, certain countries, people will just wear it because
and they
like,
say what?
Oh, it's a hat. You know, it's like in this case, they're like, you're, you know,
well, then
German.
Because like a Yankee hat is just so Americana core. Like just Americana branded.
It's ascended past
the Yankees.
The Yankees past sport.
I remember my immigrant grandfather wore a Yankees hat when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, you like the Yankees?" And he was like, "No, it stands for New York, NY." And that's just what it means to some people.
But going back to the Go Birds thing, like I also get it in New York. There's a cool element that people are balancing. They're like, well, I live here, you know, I don't talk to strangers on the street. They're like maintaining some of those core tenets of like
being in New York,
and
but then there's also
keeping it moving,
right?
You know,
and then there's also the fact that crazy's in New York, like I'm
sure
some people
there's a lot of people that like leave their door wherever they're going, and they are 100% committed to not engaging with another soul until they reach their other destination, and like that's very normal.
That's valid.
Good, bad.
I can't blame
ugly.
you.
Yeah.
I can't blame you. Look at the MTA.
It happens.
Look at the subway. What they're doing to it. Just disgusting.
I get offended. Sometimes I don't. Most times, you know, if it were like a big event, like they just won a big game, and I'm on the street, and like I say it, and they don't say it back, then it's really offensive. That's a faux pas.
Yeah, sure. That is definitely a faux pas. I mean, even I kind of giggle along with it if I'm with you.
Yeah.
And you married me, and I am not a sports fan. And I don't particularly understand sports. Tell me about that journey for you. What's that been like?
It's fine.
Getting nervous?
No, mostly because
sweating a little.
I don't have to spend time explaining stuff to you. You go off and do your thing.
Yeah.
It's a little harder these days. You know, someone's got to be responsible for watching her.
Right.
So it's not like you can just go off and do your own thing if I'm watching the game. And
but yet
if you doing your own thing, I have to kind of include her in watching the game, which she's leaning into a little bit more.
Right.
She'll always pick the opposite team of the Eagles, like cheer for their colors. It's fine. We can, you know.
We'll tweak that. But bringing it back to me.
Yeah, no, it you know. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you?
No.
Okay. And because, you know.
Because you respect it, you know,
it took me a while.
Enthusiasm for it.
Well, I will say that because I didn't grow up really in a sports home, you know, my grandfather, my dad's dad, was a huge soccer football fan, European
Chelsea.
Football.
I remember.
Chelsea fan all the way through. But their games were on early morning for us or sometimes overnight or whatever.
It wasn't disruptive.
It never disrupted our flow or schedule.
Yeah.
So I never really noticed or understood the dedication to sports. And then I met you.
Yeah.
And I remember many a time, like if I had a family gathering or a function, and you would fight tooth and nail about going because it would be during an Eagles game. And I really thought you could skip it.
Yeah. Well, football in particular, it's limited supply, and it is a drug. Like people are addicted to it. I would say that I fall within that category. The emotional type of connection. You know, something in your brain is occurring while it's on, right? Like you're looking forward to it. When it ends, you want to do it again. Football in particular, it's such a short season in comparison to other sports.
It feels really long to me. Would you say you're addicted to football, watching football, or Eagles football?
Eagles football. If there's other games on and the Eagles aren't playing, like we can do stuff. We can make plans.
Oh my God. Yeah. What a gift.
Yeah. So it's, you know, and I'll follow along so that I can keep up in conversation with people, but like I won't have watched every highlight or anything.
Another thought that I had as I got to understanding football and watching more with you and learning about it and all the background stuff that goes on, it's very similar to something like a Real Housewives fandom. Because I'm sorry, it really is. And I don't know who the comparison is for Andy Cohen, like who you would equate Andy Cohen to in that world.
Probably like a Stephen A. Smith. You know who that is?
Is he the owner of the Mets?
Nope. You're thinking of Steve Cohen. Stephen A. Smith.
Hold on, I'm going to...
Go ahead.
That's not the owner of the NFL.
Oh, look, he's just a common Terry guy like anybody else on like any of these other networks.
Right. No, he's the host on ESPN. He's really funny.
Yeah.
He's like
not
witty.
the host. He's like a panel member. Regular.
Yes. He's very witty and smart.
Yeah. He's got his own show where he like covers a wide range of topics. In sports, there's just so many. He's got a monopoly on reality.
Yeah, but Stephen A. Smith is so motivational, inspirational sometimes. Yeah. But he's also witty and funny. Yeah. And Andy...
He's inflammatory. They're both inflammatory.
Right. Andy's really inflammatory.
They try to stir it up.
Right. And so like when I started learning that, football, they'll mic people up on the field and people will voluntarily listen to their little side gossip conversations. I mean, that's
yeah, like... I watch those videos they come out like every Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, that's like very similar to what happens on a Real Housewife reunion. So it is really similar. It's not that different.
No, it's not. The games, they used to be, Sundays and Mondays. Now it's like Thursdays. And this time of year, it's also Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays. And it was Christmas on Wednesday, right? So it was Wednesday's games this year. But anyway, typically over the vast majority of the season, you're waiting multiple days between games. So, you're looking to fill that time in terms of entertainment.
It just feels like a lot.
Of talking. And, yeah, it is a lot.
But I'm happy for you.
I'm happy too. They're having a great year.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Living here and watching, it's not that hard. The hardest part is just like trying to catch them on TV without needing to go to a bar, because like you're not going to then go to a bar and then
not drink,
not have a beer or wings,
or cheesesteak
or pretzel.
Top 3 Philly cheesesteaks in New York City.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Old City,
number 1.
Yeah, formerly known as Shorty's, is really good. Wogie's is also good. Both Eagles bars.
Yeah.
I don't know. Number 3 is tough. I haven't had another
like standout one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So top 2, fine, whatever. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
As my husband and a man, can you give me your opinion on this trend or pattern or habit, Venmoing between couples? Tacky or reasonable?
It's tacky. We don't need to know how you're dividing up your finances.
I hate it.
Who's handling what and whether or not you have joint accounts or what the deal is. We just don't need. It's not information I'm interested in.
Yeah, you see, but you like unintentionally see it because you are opening up the app.
I would want to know, what are the points for advertising it to others. I'd say to people that have it, like,
are you just not being thoughtful about
because you can still get
private button?
Yeah, because if you need to like have a record of, did we pay this? Did this person pay me for this? Like, that's still all tallied, but it doesn't need to be on a feed.
Right. And also you're in a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
So it's not really, it's not a
text them.
Yeah. Or just put the private button on.
Yeah.
Not hard.
Yeah. It's not a good look. Also, I think people are weirdly flexing too.
Asian.
Jewelry.
Flight. Plane emoji.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know.
We got it.
I don't know why it irks me so much, but like many random things.
Between friends is like whatever, I guess. It's also kind of tacky too, right? In a way, because it's like, what if you're in a friend group, and like you see all these payments between members of your friend group for an event, a night out, and you were not a part of that night out, then it's like,
I think you would take it personally.
Yeah, probably.
I would. Yeah. I have.
You have.
I certainly have.
Yeah.
But I'm getting better about it.
Yeah. You've made a lot of improvements.
So have you, Matthew.
Yeah, thanks.
Matthew, a part of New York City's flourishing economy, what's the better work from home day? Monday or Friday? And this is a topic that you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, I did want to discuss this.
Tell me.
Monday is the superior day off, right? Because...
The superior day off or the superior day to work from home?
Oh, is this work from home?
Well, let's categorize it. Work from home and then...
Oh, work from home Friday.
Okay.
Off...
Monday.
Like a 3-day weekend, if you're going to have the Monday off or the Friday off, the Monday. 100% the Monday.
I would agree with that.
Because the Friday before, and I can only speak to places that I have worked, and for legal purposes, if my employer is listening, I work till the latest available time on Fridays. Typically, a lot of places will just say on a 3-day weekend, call it early on a Friday.
But don't waste the PTO
Fridays,
day.
Yeah, Fridays tend to be like relaxed anyway, even on a normal week, right? In comparison to Monday through Thursday, at least at places that I've worked. Obviously, every job is different. If you're in finance, you're just hammering spreadsheets and I don't know,
still
making
cranking
trades,
those out. Yeah,
until the market closes, you're doing what you do.
You're kind of stuck.
Yeah, but that's not me. As you know, Oh,
I'm more of a work from home girly myself.
Yeah.
Just because my brain is always doing a million things and I like to triple multitask.
Yeah. But work from home is dangerous because you can get caught up in a task and just keep going. And because you don't have the separation of the commute, you just work late. I remember doing that a lot during the pandemic, and specifically on Fridays when like you're like, oh my God, it's
the
the weekend. And I've still been working, and it's not critical work that needs to get done. It's just caught up in it, lost track of time, and now work is eaten into my weekend. It sucks. But having the Monday off has a lot of advantages.
I'm team Monday off always.
Namely, like it alleviates the Sunday scaries, right? You can go through Sunday, the anxiety creeps up, and you're like, oh wait, I'm off. And then it's great. Then you get back to work, and it's a 4-day work week. You're already a day closer to Friday, on Tuesday. So my humble opinion, it's Monday is the superior day off.
That was a lot of brain cartwheels for me, just like to follow that process.
It's just better,
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Any resolutions you want to share for 2025?
Nope. Think I nailed it. Think I'm going in pretty perfect.
Pretty perfect. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. That's a bit rich.
I don't know. Maybe definitely get into better shape. But I say that kind of every year, but it's more about just like
discipline.
Discipline, but I'm not looking for like major body change. I'm also very realistic about it. It's more just being able to like have the stamina to keep it up with our daughter and not feel exhausted after just chasing her around, right? And just making sure that next year, my annual physical, my doctor's like, okay, not bad. As long as I get like a not bad.
He does say not bad, actually.
Yeah, it's like a C plus, B minus. If I'm in that range for the health score, that would be pretty good.
I'm sorry, our primary care is brutal. Like,
no, he's great.
Getting any type of positive feedback from him is pulling teeth.
First of all, for a primary, assuming that you're in like decent health and you're just maintaining and you're checking to make sure there's nothing wrong, you kind of don't want the guy with the great bedside manner, in my opinion.
Why?
Because you're not already sick and worried. You need somebody. You kind of are going into it almost, all right, like I just got to do this. And assuming everything's normal, if he doesn't deliver the news to you of you should make these changes so that you're better next year when we meet, you kind of don't take it seriously. But if he's kind of a dick about it, there's like a little motivation, right? Prove him wrong, or at least like understand like he's not just mailing it in. Obviously, if we were really sick and you're dealing with something, yeah, you want somebody with some decent bedside manner to walk you through your options and comfort you a little bit. But assuming the status quo, you kind of want the guy that's, hey, you could lose.
I think he's just a good fit.
You could afford 10 pounds, Matt.
I think he's a good fit for your personality type. You don't need a lot of.
I just need the facts.
Yeah, you don't like a lot of sugarcoating.
Yeah.
And I like a bit of hand holding.
Yeah, I don't need it.
You don't.
From my doctor.
From
my
your
primary.
Doctor. You need it from
everyone else. You especially.
I think on the resolution front, I mean, I don't even want to go the obvious route. So I'm going to say I'm sticking with stand-up, sticking with the podcast, sticking with creating more than I consume.
Stand-up's been such a good thing for you. You should definitely continue it. It should not be, shouldn't be a year-to-year thing. I think it should just be something you just do now.
Yeah.
It adds a level of variety to our social calendar, which I found mutually beneficial for us. Like people come out, they want to watch. We have a night out.
You also are typically our bar manager. You're filling the coolers that we are selling the drinks out of. And I feel like you're good at herding people around.
Yeah.
From venue to after party.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Just make an announcement. Mostly big booming voice.
I think that part's been really fun for us, and it also is something for me to do, like I said, creating, not consuming. So I'm actually working on being on a skill and a craft that's not just doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It's been good. There's been positive correlation in other aspects of your life and our life as a married couple when you adopted the hobby or task. I don't know.
It's a
activity.
Hobby. Activity.
Yeah. When you like incorporated that into, we kind of it kind of moved things forward in other aspects of life for you unintentionally, in a positive way. That's been good. And I'm glad to hear that that's on the resolution list to continue to create, not consume.
Resolution feels like a strong word for that.
Commitment.
Yeah. I don't I love the idea of a New Year's resolution, but I hate the gimmicky spiel that comes with it for the month of January because it's, by the way, my birthday's in January and I still want to celebrate and I want to live. No buy January doesn't work for me in January because I'm buying myself a birthday gift.
No, or dry January.
And dry January doesn't work for me either because, like, I want a martini on my birthday. Why do the people with January birthdays need to suffer through that?
Yeah. The resolutions are interesting to your point because, like, you need to have some level of accountability and, like, share with people that you're doing something. You don't, within the spectrum, you don't want to do something that's branded already at this point, like a dry January. Well, you can, right? Because there's a lot to celebrate in January. All things in moderation, right? So drink here or there, but it's not true to the theme of it, which is completely sober.
Cold turkey.
Yeah. So
January's always been an interesting play for me because people are kind of dying down after the holidays and I'm picking right back up. And so is my husband.
I am.
He's picking right back up. He's opening that wallet right back up. He's firing up the old Resi, browsing through an open table, clicking around.
But I always have fun with it too,
because like
you like to pick places to go that we enjoy. Like, there's more hits than misses when you pick. And for me, I feel like there's a lot of hits, but there's definitely some misses.
No, don't be hard on yourself. That one place was fine.
Yeah, it's all fine.
It's all
fine.
It's all fine.
But for a special occasion, you want more than fine.
Sure. But it also has changed a little bit with having a kid because we don't have the time or the patience to battle through booking a reservation. I don't have the patience to figure out what the hot new reservation is. Whereas this same time, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would have been making lists and checking them twice.
I would agree. That's been a major unintended consequence of having a child. Is like
major.
All of a sudden, like, I get why people in other parts of the country, opt for like Applebee's, right? Not saying that I would, but like they're not. The amount of time, the easy stuff, the ease of it, like. I think
Resi is prejudice against parents, and I think Resi is prejudice against people who have things to do.
Yeah, this is
just
because a hype
30
machine.
Days, it's a hype building machine, but to have to know that you have to log in 30 days beforehand at midnight to make a reservation at a cool place that's probably delicious, it's absurd.
Yeah, it is absurd, and it's like.
And then you have to go put yourself on the wait list. The day before or the day of, suddenly the 5 p.m.s open up, then the 9 p.m.s open up, and then it slowly opens up right at your window anyway.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
It is a joke.
It's so unfair. But, they want to lose me.
But I've also gained an appreciation, especially living in New York, for like going to the places that blend that quality with the ease of access, and we've got our spots. I'm going to gatekeep them here. I'm not going to share just because I want to continue to be able to go to those places.
He doesn't want to sell them out.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, it's been lovely having you on.
It's been great. Yeah, I've had fun.
You had fun?
Yeah, this was fun. We should do it again sometime.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you have any like final parting thoughts you'd like to share? Other than go Birds.
I love you. I love our daughter. I love that you're doing this and the stand-up and creating, not consuming, is a really good mantra, I think, into 2025. Just because I think you'll be really happy with this time next year if you stick with it, where it'll have taken you as far as just doors that'll open. So I'm always happy to be a guest. Thank you for giving me time to get to the bar so I can get to the game.
Game's on in 20 minutes. He's got to book it.
I know. That's it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Love ya.
Love ya.
Peace.